loves, it is Tatiana Volk here, and I am finally doing the famous Booktube Newbie Tag. Now, I've actually wanted to do this for ages, but figured it was too late since I've had my channel for a while, but I figured, you know what? Okay, we're gonna do it anyway. Better late than never. So, let's get into it. So, the first question is, why did you start your YouTube channel? I originally started my YouTube channel because I had an online art shop called Love to Give Kisses that I was trying to promote, and there weren't a lot of artists on the platform, and I thought it would be fun. But over the years, a lot of things either didn't work out or have changed, so the channel has kind of shifted to more of a personal booktube channel. Although I do still do art on the channel occasionally, it's definitely shifted more in this kind of vintage aesthetic booktube channel. So, next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? Personally, I've been trying to create this nice, cozy, vintage aesthetic vibes for the channel so that people know what to expect even when I'm doing different types of videos, and to just make my booktube content a little bit more interesting. I've also already created my own TBR game, the Tabletop TBR, which I play every month and have available as a print and play for other people to purchase and play along. And lastly, I am currently trying to find ways that I can use my illustration skills to bring a little bit of a fun twist to the book content that I create. Things like redesigning book covers or reimagining characters, and hopefully more. If you have any recommendations on what kind of art-related book content you'd like to see on the channel, let me know, because I am all ears. I can't believe I just did that. Next question. What are you most excited for about this channel? Okay, so this is the fun stuff. I am just excited in general for what the future holds for the channel, especially now that I decided to embrace my love for vintage and go big or go home. I'm hoping to acquire more vintage background goodies and just go really fun with it to really bring a nice overall aesthetic to my videos so that people can feel this kind of cozy vintage cool aesthetics in addition to the book content that I create. I'm also excited to experiment with different types of videos. I definitely enjoy branching out, trying new things, and just expanding the content that I do while hopefully improving the content that I already create and making it a more enjoyable, more whatever for people. We can expect some fun times, yeah. Currently, I am working on doing shorter 24-hour reading vlogs, more tips and recommendation videos, vintage event things and art-related videos. I'm just trying to test the waters, try new things, see what I enjoy doing the most, and try and do more of that. Next question. Why do you love reading? First off, it's a great escape. Admittedly, life can be a little bit frustrating and sad and depressing, if I'm being honest with you, especially with a lot of the things that have been going on. So much going on that I don't always want to focus on, including some of the simple things like just stress at work or dealing with random adult life things, which means it's nice to be able to cozy down, read a book, and escape and get out of my own head. I also really enjoy it because it allows me to connect to other people, get in different headspaces, and kind of be a little bit more empathetic and learn more about different races and cultures that I otherwise wouldn't. And I think that is really amazing when you think about it. You can just enjoy an experience while also connecting more with different types of people and learning more about different cultures all in one. Okay, next question. What book or series got you into reading? So the first book that got me into the idea of reading but not actually reading was The Hobbit. When I was really, really little, my dad used to read it to me basically as a bedtime story, and I adored it. I loved the experience, I loved the adventure, I loved obviously just having that time with my dad, and overall it was just amazing. Unfortunately, at that time I really struggled with reading in general, and I was actually really behind in reading up until basically middle school. So in middle school The first year I was several grades behind, to the point where people thought I had a learning disability or a reading disability and I needed extra help. But fortunately, my stepfather at that time taught me both how to read and how to learn. So by the end of middle school, I ended up going from several grades behind to several grades ahead when it comes to reading, and started excelling in school just in general, all thanks to him. Now at that time, a couple things happened. My older sibling introduced me to the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles, so like Interview with the Vampire Lestat, Vampire Armand, Pandora, like all of those books. So I was reading those well before I should have. I was definitely too young. This is still middle school. And then also the other book that kind of really got me was Memoirs of a Geisha. I ended up rereading that multiple times over the years. I found it in middle school. I loved everything about it. Again, too old for me at that time. I was too young for that book, but I loved it. And every year, basically in high school, when we had a reading project, I would put that on my list just in case I didn't have enough time to read the book. And every year I ended up reading the book anyway, because I got so excited when it was time to do that report that I just wanted to reread the book instead of just skim through it or whatever. So I read it every year for like 5 years in a row. I am interested in seeing if I would still enjoy some of these books. Maybe I'll do a vlog on that in the future if you guys are interested, since it's been many years since I have last read any of those. Next question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Admittedly, I don't have any questions that I would ask my favorite booktubers, so instead I thought it would be fun to just list off some of my favorite booktubers, so if by some stroke of luck you guys don't know them, you can check them out. I'll have everything linked down below, of course. So first off, G from Book Roast is amazing. I love her aesthetics, her talent. She's made her own TBR game, which she provides for free. She's created the Magical Readathon, which is really amazing. I love her, just overall everything. Chef's kiss. Then obviously Kayla from Books and Lala always does like just the most entertaining videos here on YouTube for like books and vlogs and challenges and trying new things. I love her personality, a cool person to hang out with. For more TBR games, I would also recommend Becca from Becca and the Books, Cody, who does the Wheel of TBR, and then for some awesome Black booktubers here, since I know it's very difficult sometimes to find us. Naya Reads and Smiles has such a bubbly, great personality, and I really love her aesthetic just in general. She's really into fantasy, and I just wish she posted more videos. And then unfortunately I am blanking at the moment for all of these, so I'm just going to list a bunch in the description box down below, because there's a ton of amazing creators here that I keep forgetting their names even though I love them, because I'm bad with names in general. So that's my bad. Okay, next question. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I'm currently struggling with finding the right audience, but I will say, I guess the other thing is just figuring out exactly what works and what people like from me, because I don't want to just do the same kind of book content as other people. I'd like to kind of add my own twist to it, which is why I'm going more down the vintage road, and which is why I'd like to introduce more art elements into my videos. So we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited about it, but it's probably going to take some time for me to really get my footing in the booktube space, or personal and booktube space. Okay, next question is, when did you start reading? And I kind of answered this already when it came to what series got me into reading. But as I mentioned, I was behind in reading, so for a long period of time, even though I was interested in the idea of it, I didn't really partake because I didn't think I was smart enough to do it. I just didn't think I could. I really struggled with some basic things, and it was really embarrassing for me having friends that were my age or younger be significantly better at reading and me not understanding why. So when I did finally learn how to properly read in middle school, and I no longer struggled with reading just in general, man, it opened up the doors for me. And I just remember I remember like the first time really going to the library and trying to get books and just absolutely loving it and feeling, I don't know, just feeling really good about it. Unfortunately, I was also a budding artist at the time, and reading books and drawing at the same time doesn't really work out, and I had kind of leaned more towards the art side of things, so my book reading kind of took a back seat outside of assignments and class stuff, pretty much until audiobooks became a thing in my life. So when I ended up going to college, I really started embracing audiobooks because not only did I realize that they were available, I also realized that they were available for free from my library via their online catalog. So that kind of changed everything for me because I could continue to work on art things while also enjoying books that I absolutely adored. Next question is, where do you read? So I actually created this little like book nook area. I've got this little like chair thing so I can like lean back, get comfortable. Sorry, Kiwi's being fed. So I can get comfortable and get cozy here, and I have read here a couple of times, but in general I don't actually. I usually read at my desk while I'm working on something. I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I'm doing other stuff, so I kind of just read wherever I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. I tend to usually read or listen to audiobooks while I'm doing other stuff. Next question is, what kind of books do you enjoy reading? So my main genres that I enjoy are thriller, horror, romance, and fantasy. That being said, I'm pretty open to all types of genres. I keep saying there are certain ones that I don't enjoy, but I realize that there's always exceptions. So for instance, I'm not super into the idea of YA, but I tend to find multiple YAs that I end up enjoying. Same with middle grade. I just find that I'm not super excited about reading middle grades, but that hasn't stopped me from finding favorite books that happen to be them. Sci-fi is another one that I usually feel like is a hit or miss for me. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. And then same with contemporary. I'm not a big fan of contemporary without romance. If it's a contemporary romance, I can get behind it because at least I'm rooting for the romance. But in all of these instances, there are always exceptions. So I've definitely have found books in almost every category that I think I wouldn't enjoy that I absolutely adore. So, all right. And then the last question is, what does your book collection look like? And I am going to take you off of the tripod and actually show you around so you can see the nightmare that is my room and book collection. But first, we'll start with what you can see here. Here are some of my to be read. Basically, all of the books that are in my room are books that I haven't read or are currently reading. So I have all of my POC books that I haven't read yet here. I have my little vintage setup here. So I do have some POC books and then just some vintage books. And then I have some books that I haven't read that are by predominantly white authors. I also have my TBR cart here, which has books that I'm basically just really excited about or that have recently come in my possession. And then I have some books that I have on my 22 books that I want to read in 2022 list, along with some books that I have picked for other challenges or things like that on like Storygraph. I usually keep a stack of my to be read books right next to my desk. And then I keep a stack of the completed books close to that as I go through them. I have a skinny shelf here that has all of my witchcrafty books here, and then continuation of to be read books. These are all ones that have no audiobook at all. And these are ones that have audiobooks available that I just don't have yet. And then this shelf and that shelf is my book graveyard. And then the last thing in my room are these piles of books that I currently have on Pango Books and that I will probably be adding. And then the other shelf is in the living room, which I will overlay when I have the chance. My roommate is currently out there. And that shelf is basically all of the books that I have read already that I'm planning on keeping for the most part. So the ones at the top, some of them may get donated or sold because I have just finished them, but all of the ones in the bottom shelves are ones that I have already gone through and want to keep in my collection, and I've read them and enjoyed them or like the cover or whatever. Okay, and that's it. That is it for the Booktube Newbie Tag. I really hope you enjoyed this and you stick around on the channel to see what's up. If you've stayed this far, include this emoji down below to let me know that you made it this far. You can check out some of my book vlogs here and some of my other book related content here, and I will catch you in the next video. Until next time, bye!